I am a publisher, writer, editor, daughter, sister, auntie, dog mom, and many other things, including currently a cancer patient. But I am not a doctor or medical professional of any sort. What you are about to watch is an episode of my journey through cancer. I'm sharing my adventure with you in hopes that you'll find something here that's comforting and maybe even inspiring. This video is not intended to provide any sort of diagnosis or treatment plan. Please go talk with your doctor for professional medical advice. Recently, my bestie, Christy, and I were talking on the phone, and as isn't unusual, the conversation turned to books. The books we were reading. We're both pretty voracious readers. And it was inevitable that we would get to that part of the conversation. And then, of course, also inevitably, we talked about the books we read when we were young and how much they'd moved us and how much they'd influenced us and the teachers who'd recommended them. And, shout out to Mrs. Spots and Mrs. Eggleston and Mrs. Stuckel and Mrs. Robinson. The question formed then, we'd both seen those lists of, the 10 books that are most important for you to read when you're in high school, and the 100 books you have to read when you're in college, or the 500 books you can't die without reading. So we asked each other if we had to compile a list of the 10 books that were most important to read while you were in high school, what books would be on that list. I think instinctively we went to the low-hanging fruit, To Kill a Mockingbird. But then, there's that whole white savior thing you don't want to perpetuate. And not to mention that neither of us, after all these years, has yet cracked Go Set a Watchman because we don't want to ruin Harper Lee for ourselves. Narrowing down a general reading list to just 10 books is an impossible task, I think. You've just got to read everything you can get your hands on. And keep in mind these words that I heard Kwame Anthony Appiah speak when I heard him speak decades ago, that narcissism is not the only reason to read. Read everything and read outside your comfort zone. And that said, when I want to completely escape into a book, I most typically choose historical fiction or fantasy. What is my favorite read before bedtime? Anything by Philippa Gregory. My new favorite fantasy, I published it, Song of Ramona, the first book in the Pirates of the Cloud Sea trilogy by Meg Marriott. One of my all-time favorite fantasy books, well, that's a book I was reminded of this morning on the drive to my second to last radiation treatment. Let's see if I can capture this fairy tale mist that we're driving into this morning on the way to my second to last radiation treatment. Holy Mother of God. But it's very, the Mists of Avalon here this morning, and I love it. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Also, don't forget to call your senators and your congresspeople to demand universal health care, and most importantly, don't forget to vote.